Well, good morning, esteemed paper presenters and attendees, and everyone who are willing to join the third ICETECH Universitas PGRI Madiun, Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, before proceeding with each paper presenter, let me share what to know before we going on with the presentation. First of all, make sure when you attend this room C, you write your name as follows: the room, and then the list of your presentation and your full name, like this. Second, during joining this conference, you must keep your camera on and your microphone mute unless you are presenting or asking questions or responding questions. That's rule number 2. Number 3, I believe you have done it 10 minutes before it begins. And last of all, ladies and gentlemen, your participation can only be verified if you participate even fully for 2 days, starting from October 26th to 27th, yesterday and today. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, for presentation today, each will be allowed 10 minutes to deliver his or her paper. Then it will be followed by a question and answer session. 10 minutes. Please make it in such a way that your presentation is shorter than 10 minutes. Then question and answer, it will be about 3 to 5 minutes for each. And for those who wants to participate, to ask questions and so on, please raise hand first. That's the first way how to participate. Raise hand, or 2, just write your question on the chat room. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, now let's move to the first paper presentation. That's acceptability of crowd cooperative system by Sir Severino G. Alviento. Sir, if you are here, please take the floor. Thank you. It seems, ladies and gentlemen, the first paper presenter, Sir Severino G. Alviento, is not yet here. Therefore, I would like to move to the second, the Indonesian EFL Learners Motivation and Autonomy by Melvina, Sri Langkanawati, Wirsa, and Natsir. It is a video presentation.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Actually, I have sent the video to the committee. I prefer to present online from the video. So, can the committee show the video?
Okay, okay, good. So I will show your video, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
apology. Let me try again. There's a technical problem.
Technical problem.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I'm on the trip
Okay.
this morning, so that's why I prefer to send the video to the committee. The video cannot.
Let me fix everything, man. Please wait, ladies and gentlemen, let me fix the problem. Is the video visible?
Okay. This is my video.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I would like to present our research result with the title, The Indonesian EFL Learners Motivation and Autonomy. Okay, let me share the PowerPoint. Okay. Introduction. The English language is indispensable for communication in this era of globalization. It uses for various purposes and situations. For example, international trade, international education, intercultural relation, and business. This phenomenon clarifies that position of English has become one of the most international languages used by people around the world. In Indonesia, English is well accepted foreign language. It is spoken and learned not only by students but also by ordinary people. Since English is a foreign language in Indonesia, learning English could be challenging for students. They often perceive that learning English is complicated, is a complicated process because of some factors such as motivation and learning strategies. And it is undeniable that motivation plays a major role in language learning. Many researchers have examined that motivation is one of the factors determining the success of second or foreign language learning. And motivation is one of the main factors that influence learner autonomy. Related to these issues, the focus of language teaching in the 21st century has begun to play an increasingly important role in helping the learners to become independent or autonomous in their learning. Autonomy in language learning is that autonomous learners are strongly motivated and that autonomy leads to better, more successful work. And learners who have a strong motivation can learn a language better, tend to be successful, and can make good achievements. So it can be said that motivation is pivotal in determining the success or failure in learning English. And further research investigating the association between motivation and learner autonomy has been conducted by many scholars in second or foreign language learning. For example, like Wang and Su 2015, Jian Feng, Raj and I 2018, Liu 2015, and Spratt and Humphreys and Chan 2002, and Dickinson 1995. And Indonesia, research investigating the relationship between motivation and learner autonomy is still difficult to find out. If any, the study mainly focused on the relation learning motivation and the 4 English skills achievement, learning outcome, language learning strategies. Taking this as the point, the present study focuses on investigating the university students' motivation and autonomy and its relationships. Okay, now we come to the literature review. There are 2 variables in this research: learning motivation and learner autonomy. As I mentioned before, learning motivation is one of the great contributing factors to the success of foreign language. And motivation is a major contributor to language achievement, and motivated learners are autonomous learners. And for the learner autonomy, learners take responsibility for their own learning. And learners use language learning strategies in order to make themselves become autonomous learners. And autonomous learners are those who have the capacity for being active and independent in the learning process. They also able to use learning strategies and to monitor their own learning. And links between motivation and autonomy, according to Jian Feng et al., Salehi and Daleli and Liu, showed that learning motivation and autonomy were significantly and positively correlated with each other. And Spratt et al. Found that there was a strong relationship between motivation and frequency of engagement in autonomous learning activities outside the classroom. And also Spratt et al. 2002 claimed that motivation must be promoted before autonomy. In contrast, Van der Grief argues that autonomy precedes motivation. Zhu and Zhan found that learning motivation can help to promote learner autonomy. And based on this, we formulate the research questions into 3. Is there any significant relationship between motivation and autonomy of Indonesian University EFL learners? Is there any significant difference between male and female learners in motivation and autonomy? And is there any significant difference between undergraduate and postgraduate learners in motivation and autonomy? To answer the research questions, this study used a correlational research design. And the participants of the study comprised 40 Indonesian EFL male and female undergraduate and postgraduate learners majoring in English language teaching. They came from some regions in Indonesia, such as West Sumatra, North Sumatra, Aceh, Riau, West Sumatra, East Java, and Jakarta. There were 7 males and 33 females. Undergraduate learners were 29 and postgraduate learners were 11. They were recruited based on a convenient sampling procedures. The research distributed the questionnaires to university EFL learners through Google Form. The data collection process took 2 weeks. The participants were asked to fill in the questionnaire within 2 weeks. The researchers sent a second message via WhatsApp to thank those who had responded and also to remind those who had not responded to the survey 3 days before the deadline. And for the analysis person product moment correlation coefficient and independent sample data were used. And for the specific, to answer the first research questions, analysis of person product moment correlation coefficient was employed in finding the correlation between motivation and autonomy, and independent sample t-test was employed to answer the second and the third research questions. And the findings, now we come to the findings. The first one is the relationship between learning motivation and learner autonomy. As shown in table 2, the correlation value between motivation and autonomy was moderate with we can see that the significant value total was 0.00, which was lower than 0.05, and with the R square is 0.530. And there was a positive,
it's 2 minutes left.
A positive and
shorter,
significant correlation between the two variables. This result indicated that students who were motivated in English learning, they will have better learning autonomy. And for the differences between male and female learners in motivation and autonomy, as shown in table 3, the mean score of male learners was 63.00 and the mean score of female learners was 72.91. Based on these results, it can be concluded that female learners had a higher level of motivation. Further, the result of the t-test showed that there was no significant difference between male and female learners. Motivation. The significant total value was 0.56, which was higher than 0.05. Accordingly, there was no significant difference in motivation between male and female learners. It implied that male and female learners' motivation in English learning was at the same level, particularly in the sample. It indicated that learning motivation did not depend on the learner's gender. Furthermore, it can be argued that both male and female learners are interested in what they are learning, and then they make significant efforts to do it. Thus, their motivation in learning language is at the same level. And for the autonomy, in table 4 actually, it can be seen that the mean score of male learner was 34.43 and female learner
may I have
was
your attention since the time allotted is 10 minutes. I would like to stop this
based on this computation.
very soon.
Female learners' autonomy score were higher than male learners' scores.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
It was
well, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for QA session. If you have question, you may raise your hand or you may write your questions on the chat room. Thank you. Right after this, it will be the third paper presenter by Sir Utama, Sir Wibowo, and Sir Saifullah. Please get ready, Sir. Ladies and gentlemen, is there any question for paper presenter number 2? That's the Indonesian EFL learners' motivation and autonomy. Right, Ma'am Melvina, Ma'am Langkana Wati, Ma'am Mirza, and Natsir. Question, please. Questions, comments, or suggestions?
Thank you for watching my video.
Okay.
I'm so sorry for this inconvenience.
Okay. So, well, sometimes that's the problem. It's a common problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, since it seems there's no question, now let's move to the third paper presenter. That's about Java representation contract in Sintang at the end of the 19th century by Sir Utama, Sir Wibowo, and Saifullah. The presentation will be in video, ladies and gentlemen. So let's present the video.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, happy greeting to all of us. Let me introduce myself, Eka Jaya Putra Utama. I am from Pontianak, West Kalimantan, Indonesia. I will present a paper titled Japan's Contract in Rubber Plantation in Sintang at the end of the 19th century. Introduction. The need for raw material is needed by the world so that almost in several parts of the nation in Southeast Asian contribution to planting rubber trees, one of which is in Sintang. The water in tropical climates of West Kalimantan are very supportive for rubber plantation. In 1970, the Dutch government issued the agrarian law giving private company the freedom to invest their capital. The plantation sector has become much in demand to be opened and massive. The need for workers in rubber plantation is high, so workers are recruited from local residents and from contracted Japanese. Any problem in this forum? I will describe three topics in this presentation. First, geographical, social, and the end of the 19th century in Sintang. 2. The process of arrival of contracted Japanese workers in Sintang. 3. Indigenous relation, Japanese contract worker and roles in Sintang. Research methods. Analytical descriptive research with historical methods. Studies of data collection, trust, direct observation, interview, and document. Data analysis, source criticism, data interpretation, and writing in historical studies. Discussion. First, the geographical social Sintang at the end of the 19th century in Sintang. Sintang is surrounded by river, plain and mountain, fertile soils, dense forests, and cold air because Sintang has a tropical water. The Kapuas River and the Malawi rivers are the most important regional flows. Farming is a seasonal activity for the people of Sintang. A variety rice crop. The population of Sintang in the capital city consists of the following people. First, Melayu Sintang, Dayak, children of merchants, Banjar, Bugis, Malay outside Sintang Noban. Orang is Chinese, Arabic, Japanese, and Europe's Netherlands. The arrival process of contracted Japanese worker in Sintang. The indigenous people are Dayak and Melayu who makes their land for rubber plantation. Workers in rubber plantation come from indigenous people and people from outside Sintang. While the plantation are managed by the government and entrepreneur, the workers are imported from Java. The process of recruiting a worker from Java is carried out by broker or brought in by the government themselves and employed in private plantation. Among them are working from Java who are recruited by Bangkai Navy. Indigenous relation, Japanese contract worker and roles in Sintang. The Dutch colonial government recruited the royal family as employees in charge of overseeing the garden and tax. Local or indigenous farmers work from their own garden, while workers from Java live in barrack prepared by the government or employer. The Dutch colonial government carried out all the roles. Corruption and bribery have never occurred among the employers, especially for workers from Java. On weekend, they are given free time, even private entertainment, and art from Java. Good relations are established between working from Java and the navies. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the presentation number 3 by Sir Utama, Sir Wibowo, and Saifullah. Should there be any questions, please raise your hand or write on the chat room. Thank you. Any question, ladies and gentlemen? The paper presented is about Java rubber plantation contract in Sintang at the end of the 19th century. Ladies and gentlemen, should there be any questions, any suggestion or comment, please just raise your hand or write in the chat room. It seems no questions, no suggestion, no response. In short, before we proceed to the fourth paper presentations by Sir Arafat, Ma'am Nawati, and Ma'am Salma, let me call for the attention of Sir Severino G. Alfiento. Sir, are you here? If so, I would like you to take the next floor before move to the fourth floor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Sir Severino G. Alfiento seems to be not yet here. Therefore, I would like to move to the fourth paper, the influence of compensation and working environment on organizational commitment and its implication on employees' performance at PT Sumber Wahana Musi. By Yasir Arafat, Tri Darmawati, Ninin Non Ayu Salma. They sent a video presentation, and let me share the video presentation.
Good morning, participants of the Second International Conference on Education and Technology, Universitas PGRI Madiun. Introduce me, Nininan Aisalma from Universitas PGRI Palembang. The title of research is The Influence of Compensation and Working Environment on Organizational Commitment and its implication on employees' performance at PT Sumber Wahana Musi by Yasir Arafat, Tri Darmawati, and Nininan Aisalma from Universitas PGRI Palembang. This study aims to determine the effect of compensation and working environment on organizational commitment and its implication on the performance of employee at PT Sumber Wahana Musi. The research method is the first quantitative, the second descriptive, and the third verification. Data source from primary data. Data collection technique is questionnaire. The research variables are exogenous and endogenous. Exogenous are compensation and working environment. Endogenous are organization commitment and employee performance. Data analysis technique are the first descriptive statistical analysis and structural modeling, structural equation modeling based on AMOS. Research model. The research model explains the influence of compensation and working environment on organizational commitment and performance and its implications for performance. Result model. The figure produces the substructural and structural regression equation, namely organizational commitment is 0.70 compensation minus 0.19 working environment. Performance is 0.39 compensation minus 0.15 working environment plus 0.02 organization commitment. And the finding of this study are there is a positive and significant effect of compensation on organizational commitment. There is a negative and insignificant effect of the working environment on organizational commitment. There is a positive and significant effect of compensation and the working environment simultaneously on organizational commitment. There is a positive and significant effect of compensation on performance. There is a negative and insignificant effect of the working environment on the performance. There is a positive and insignificant effect of organizational commitment on performance. There is a positive and significant effect of compensation, working environment, and organizational commitment simultaneously on performance. Thank you. That's our presentation. Hopefully, it will be useful for science.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the presentation on the paper of the influence of compensation and working environment on organizational commitment and its implication on employees' performance at PT Sumber Wahana Musi. Should there be any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Please just raise your hand, or write your questions, suggestion, or comment on chat group. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Ma'am Ninin on IU is here and is ready to answer your questions. Therefore, if you have any questions or comment or suggest, again, just raise your hand or write here on the chat. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the presentation number 4. Then we will begin with the 5th development of the problem-based learning student worksheet on accounting computer subjects, class 11 SMKN 1 juga by Ma'am Lestari and Ma'am Stianing. But before proceeding with this 5th paper presentation, let me remind if here Sir Severino G. Alfiento is available, sir, we want you to take the floor first before we're moving to the 5th. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems Sir Severino G. Alfiento still not yet here with us. Now let's move to paper presentation number 5, development of problem-based learning student worksheet on accounting computer subject class 11 SMKN1 by Ma'am Tari and Stianingrum. They sent us their video. Therefore, let me share their video.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, before starting my presentation today, let me introduce myself and my partner. I am Farida Stianingrum and my partner in research is Tika Putri Lestari. We are from Universitas PGRI Madiun. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in this presentation, we will discuss the result entitled Development of Problem-Based Learning Student Worksheet on Accounting Computer Subject Class 11 SMKN 1 Geger. Introduction, learning activities that must be carried out in the 21st century focus on student center to provide students with critical thinking skill and problem solving metacognition, communication, collaboration, innovation, and creativity, and literacy information. Teacher must be able to master various skills that can make students have skill in critical thinking, collaboration, communication, creativity, and innovation, as well as technology and concept. Teacher can apply the problem-based learning model and develop teaching materials to be more interesting. In improving student skill, teacher can apply the PBL learning model to explore the potential process by student more profoundly. One of them is by integrating the PBL model in teaching materials in student worksheet. Student worksheets are helpful as an alternative teaching material that can active student in learning to find and develop concept to facilitate problem solving abilities. Vocational students must be equipped with various skills to be better prepared to face the world of work in the 21st century. Skill that must be improved in vocational students include critical thinking and problem solving, creativity, communication skill, and ability to work collaboratively, and technology. Based on initial observation at SMK Negeri 1 Geger on accounting computer subject for class 11 majoring in accounting and institutional finance, students still have difficulty analyzing financial transaction. Student worksheets are still limited to theory. There are no practical questions about analyzing transaction evidence, so the student understanding is still lacking when to analyze evidence to financial transaction for entry in the MyUp application. Thus, it is necessary to develop teaching material in the form of PBL-based student worksheet to make it easier for students to understand the material and be able to improve student skill, including critical thinking and problem solving, creativity, communication skill, ability to work collaboratively, and the use of technology. Methods, the type of research conduct that is research and development. The research subject where students of class 11 majoring in accounting and institutional finance 2 is ICETECH and 1 Geker, totaling 70 people. Data collecting technique using observation, interview, and questionnaires. The R&D research model adopt the 4D model: finance, design, develop, and disseminate. At the defined stage, problem analysis and curriculum analysis are carried out as the basis for development research. Design is designing the development of PBL-based student worksheets that are adapted to the applicable curriculum. Develop, namely developing PBL-based student worksheets so that they are suitable for use through two steps, namely expert assessment followed by trial to developing student worksheet. The disseminate step has not been carried out because the student worksheet for both target have not been carried out optimally. Research and discussion. One defined state based on initial observation at ICETECH and 1 Geker on accounting computer subject class 11. Students still have difficulty analyzing financial transaction due to limited reference and teaching materials. Teaching use of the lecture method still dominate in learning, so that students are less active during learning. Teacher still has difficulties in preparing student worksheet that they have not been able to improve student competencies and skill. To the design activity for the PBL-based student worksheet format include the layout, design, display, the substance of the material, and the substance of the practice question. The 3 develop stage aspect of the assessment of material expert include working instruction, presentation of material, and presentation of question. Assessment of PBL-based student worksheet from the 2 material experts who respectively give a value of 89.9% and 85.45% with an average value of 87.77%, and we conclude if the student worksheet fall into the criteria very good and can be used. The final result, the linguist assessment of feasibility of the student worksheet was 80% and answered the good criteria. Aspect of the linguist assessment include the use of spelling, legibility, use of conjunction, use of sentences, systematic writing, consistency of writing, and use of term. The final result of the graphic design expert assessment of the feasibility of student worksheet was 80.57% and entered the very good criteria. Aspect of graphic design expert assessment include paper size, cover design, typography, and layout design. The result of assessing the feasibility of the PPL-based children worksheet from the expert were then added together to obtain the average score. The average score is 85.67% and is include the very good criteria. The following is a recapitulation of the result obtained from the expert assessment of the feasibility of PBL-based children worksheet. Conclusion: obtaining the result of expert assessment and student response can be the basis that PBL-based children worksheet are appropriate to be used as teaching material innovation for accounting computer subject for class 11 majoring in accounting and institutional finance 2 ISIMKA and 1 Geger to improve student knowledge and skill in critical thinking and problem solving, creativity, communication skill, ability to work collaboratively, and technology. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's presentation paper number 5, development of problem-based learning student worksheet on accounting computer subject class 11 SMK and 1 Geger by Ma'am Lestari and Ma'am Stianingrum. As usual, ladies and gentlemen, we hope your participation by asking questions, raising comment or suggestion. Just raise your hand or write your questions, suggestion or comment here in the chat box. Thank you. Question, ladies and gentlemen. Question, ladies and gentlemen. If no, I would like to call the attention of paper presenter number 6, the effect of brand image of food and beverage products by people with disabilities on sales volume of bisa terpecah by Sir Asrorul Mais, David Christian Susilo, Hanif Hadinata Utama. Sir, if you are here, I would like you to prepare yourself for the presentation, paper number 6. Again, I'm calling for paper presenter number 6, the effect of brand image of food and beverage products by people with disabilities on sales volume of bisa terpecah by Sir Asrorul Mais, David Christian Susilo, Hanif Hadinata Utama. Sir, are you here? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems they are not here with us, not yet here with us. So I would like to skip to presentation number 7. The growth opportunity, leverage, networking capital, and firm size on cash holding. By Nanda Anggraini, Tia Santi Haryani, Lili Nur Susilowati. They sent us the video. Therefore, let me share the video, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity to attend the International Conference on Education and Technology 2021. We will present the result of the article with the title Growth Opportunities, Leverage, Networking Capital, and Company Size on Cash Holding by my team Nanda Anggraini, Dia Santi Haryani, and Lili Nur Sulistiawati. We are from University PGRI Madiun. Slide 1. This research is interesting for us to study because cash is one of the important assets used by companies in overcoming financial problems. Currently, the COVID-19 pandemic has made many companies go bankrupt because of the company's inability to deal with the pandemic crisis. One of them is an automotive company and its components. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the company will focus its attention on cash holding because by increasing the level of cash holding, it can overcome financial problems in the company. This can be seen in the average cash holding level of automotive companies and their components from 2017 to 2020. It is known that in 2018, the average cash holding rate decreased by 0.059. Despite the decline in that year, automotive and component companies experienced an increase in 2019 to 2020 by 0.091. This is in accordance with research conducted by Xiao Hongxin in 2020, which stated that by setting a high level of cash holding, it can overcome the problem of the financial crisis in companies caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Slide 2. Then there is a problem formulation in this study, namely whatever growth opportunity, leverage, networking capital, and firm size affect cash holding. Slide 3. This research is a quantitative descriptive study to solve problems related to growth opportunity, leverage, networking capital, and firm size on cash holding. The population of this company is 13 automotive companies and their component which are listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange. Then the data collection technique using purpose sampling, and then produce a research sample of 12 companies. And the data used in the research is descriptive, statistical analysis, classical assumptions test, linear regression analysis, and hypothesis testing. Slide 4. The result of the hypothesis test table show that growth opportunity and net working capital have a significant positive effect on cash holding. Meanwhile, leverage and firm size have no effect on cash holding. Growth opportunity have a significant positive effect on cash holding because during the COVID-19 pandemic, companies need a lot of money to get growth opportunities. Therefore, the company must be able to make the last breakthrough in order to compete with other company and in order to optimize the level of cash holding. Furthermore, leverage has no effect on cash holding because the level of debt in the company doesn't affect the level of cash holding. Then net working capital has a significant positive effect on cash holding because net working capital can be converted into cash when the company needs it. In this case, the company's growth opportunities are increasing, causing cash holding to also increase. This caused the company's net working capital to also increase. Because the higher the net working capital, the higher the cash holding, and vice versa. Finally, the size of the company doesn't affect the cash holding. This is because the size of the company cannot affect the level of cash holding as long as the company doesn't experience financial problems. And the last in slide number 5, the results show the growth opportunity and net working capital had a significant positive effect because the higher the growth opportunity and net working capital, the higher the cash holding. Then leverage and firm size have no effect on cash holding because the level of leverage doesn't affect cash holding, and the size of the company also doesn't affect cash holding. Thank you so much for your great attention, and if there is any input and advice for this article, we will accept.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the presentation paper number 7. Growth opportunity, leverage, networking, capital, and firm size on cash holding. By Mem Anggraini, Mem Tiasanti Haryanti, Mem Lili Nur Suslowati. They or the paper presenter are here among us. So if you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, you may raise your hand. You can write your questions, comment, or suggestion here on chat box. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Should you have any question, any comment or suggestion for paper presenter number 7, the paper presenters are here and are happy to answer your questions, to respond your comment or suggestion. While we are waiting for you, ladies and gentlemen, to raise questions, I would like to call for the attention of paper number 8, Awareness and Dissemination of the North Luzon, Philippines State College Vision, Mission, and Goals among students by Jennifer F. Gitbar, Deborah C. Aquino, and John Paul R. Alasas. Sir, ma'am, if you are here, we are happy. I know you sent on you, and therefore we will play a video right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, is there any question for paper presenter number 7? If no, then let's proceed to paper presentation number 8, Awareness and Dissemination of the North Luzon, Philippines State College Vision, Mission, and Goals among students by Jennifer F. Kitpa, Deborah C. Aquino, John Paul R. Alasas. Ladies, let me share you the video.
Good day, everyone. I'm here to present you our research entitled Awareness and Dissemination of the North Luzon Philippines State College Vision, Mission, and Goals among students by yours truly, Jennifer F. Gitpa, Deborah C. Aquino, and Dr. John Paul R. Alasas. The college mission encompasses the 4 functions: North Luzon Philippines State College through inexpensive and high-quality education that integrates technology-based instruction, research, and extension, is dedicated to educate a diverse group of students who will become responsible leaders in a culturally varied community, generate high-quality human resources for competencies in global scale. However, like any other academic institution, NLPSC is confronted with challenges posed by fast-changing technology, changing consumer preferences, and increased competition. NLPSC have to overcome these challenges. In so doing, NLPSC should be led by its vision, mission, and goals in order to deliver not just affordable, but also a high-quality education that is comparable to those of other regional state colleges. In the accreditation of an institution, the BMG is first assessed as to its dissemination and awareness. It is believed that a well-informed stakeholders, specifically the students of the institution, will be able to assist in the realization of the institution's vision and missions and goals. Hence, it is desirable to conduct study on the dissemination and awareness of the NLPSC BMG. There are 4 problems in this study. So the first one there is, what is the level of dissemination of the vision, mission, and goals of NLPSC? Second, what is the extent of awareness to the vision, mission, and goals of NLPSC? Third, what are the sources of information of NLPSC BMGM? Fourth, what is the significant difference in the extent of awareness of students and level of dissemination of the BMG to students? In methodology, Descriptive survey method of research was used in this study. Okay, so in which to come up with sample population of this study, the stratified sampling method was used. As a result, this study covered a total of 345 students coming from the different courses of the college from the total of 3,523 students that are currently enrolled in the first semester of 2019-2020. Wherein a researcher-made survey questionnaire was also used, which has undergone validation from experts. As a result, so the first one is we have the awareness of students on the BMG of the institution. So as you can see in the table 1, as shown in the table 1, the level of awareness among students on the vision, mission, and goals of the college are very much aware with a mean rating of 3.39. This finding implies that the respondents understood the NLPS's vision statement, direction that tells what the institution wants its graduates to become in the future. The mission statement tells the purpose of the existence of the institution that contributes to the achievements of the goals, that generally the NLPSC promotes the core values that the society approves in the college upholds. Moreover, students are well informed of the vision, mission, and goals of the institution, which be associated with the academic practice of integrating the BMG as part of the syllabi of the faculty, and this is presented during class orientation in every subject, every first meeting of the faculty. And this is presented during class orientation in every subject, every first meeting of the class. It can be attributed also with the posting of BMG in conspicuous places like inside the classroom, where students can easily access to read the BMG of the college. The finding of the study is supported with study conducted by Arado, Mendoza, and Ismero 2019, where students are very much aware of the vision and mission of Kalimpun Institute of Technology, and also with the study of Dungan, Bacolod, Mila Rivera, Dekanay E, in Dekanay K 2016, as findings are very highly aware, which implies that the Don Mariano Marcos Memorial State University was effective in informing stakeholders of vision, mission, goals, and objectives. So we have also the table 2, the extent of dissemination of NLPSC BMG. So it can be gleaned from table 2 that the NLPSC vision, mission, and goals were much disseminated. This implies that the college conducted a thorough dissemination of BMG to students. However, it can be noted that further strengthening can be done to aim the highest level of dissemination. Specifically, the NLPS vision, mission, and goals are broadcasted in local radio, where fairly disseminated respectively. It was observed that vision, mission, and goals of the college are not always being announced or discussed in the radio program. Moreover, it can be attributed also to the fact that the students do not rely more on radio for information dissemination, since the presence of social media is the main platform for information. Furthermore, a wide billboard of NLPS vision, mission, goals is displayed in conspicuous place where fairly disseminated. The BMG of the college posted and the billboard are not visible because it is an old and worn out and not immediately being replaced with new one. Convincingly, the NLPSC faculty disseminated the NLPSC vision, mission, and goals during the class orientation were very much disseminated. It is then practiced into college. But the faculty members should discuss and explain to the students the BMG during class orientation in every subject of every first meeting of the class. Moreover, it is then part of the syllabus of the discussion of the BMG of the college. This is supported by the study of Renzello 2018 that the BMGO of SPAMAS were very much disseminated through the presentation of faculty during the class orientation. Also, the NLPS version measuring goals are posted and displayed inside the classroom were very much disseminated. It can be observed that every classroom in the college is being posted and displayed with the BMG, which is accessible and easily read by the students. The posting and displaying of BMG in the classrooms are compliance with the instrument for accreditation, particularly in Area 1. Thus, college are obliged that these requirements are done in implemented. There are also the third problem, which is the sources of information of students on BMG of the institution. As the table 3 reveals, the sources of information of students on NLPS vision measuring goals, in which more than half of the number of students source their information through the class orientation, which is 52.17%. This is connected with the previous finding in table 2, which NLPS vision measuring goals during the class orientation were very much disseminated because of the academic practice of presenting the BMG in every subject, every first meeting of the class. Similar to the findings of the study of Renzello 2018, that sources of information of the stakeholders of SPAMAS BMGO is class orientation, which is done by faculty during the first meeting of the class with frequency of 100 or 62.89%. Almost half of the student sources of information are the student general orientation, which is 45.20%, followed by syllabus, 42.03%, student general orientation, 45.22%, NLPC website, which is 28.99%, bulletins, 26.09%, posters, 25.80%, billboards, 25.22%, and leaflets, 24.93%. In practice, the student general orientation is done every year. The college had NLPSC website, bulletins, billboards, and poster where the vision mission goals were posted. There are also leaflets which are given to students. Further, very few source of information from the program, 16.52%, and meetings, 15.94%. This is seen as weak point since most of the programs and meetings as conducted in college do not discuss or present anymore the BMG of the college to students. So we have here the comparison of the students' awareness and dissemination of BMG, which is here in table 4, the significant difference in the extent of awareness of students and level of dissemination of BMG to students. So table 4 shows there is no significant difference in the extent of awareness of students and level of dissemination of BMG to students. This is supported by the computed frequency ratio of 3.310 with in the probability value the extent of awareness and a ratio of 2.238 with 0.16 in the probability value of 0.016 level of dissemination. This implies that regardless of the courses, their level and academic status of students, each of them has the same awareness on the BMG because of the college intensive dissemination. As in conclusion, with the results and also the recommendation based on the conclusions, efforts to disseminate the BMG are much done by the college with the use of different sources, which resulted of the high level of awareness of students, but less on wide billboards, meetings, programs, and broadcasting through the local radio. Thus, dissemination of the BMG should be sustained to create support from students, which is needed for the realization and attainment of the vision and mission of the college. Okay. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's presentation paper number 8, Awareness and Dissemination of the North Luzon Philippine State College Vision, Mission, and Goals amongst students. If you have questions or comment or suggestion, ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to write here on the chat box. The paper presenters are not here. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we encourage if you have questions, suggestion, or comment, please write here on the chat box. Thank you. Next, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call your attention for the presentation of paper number 9, Corruption Experiences of Senior College Students, by Sir John Paul R. Alasas. He sent us his video, therefore, let me play it for you.
I'll be presenting again my research entitled Corruption Experiences of Senior College Students. Yours truly, John Paul Aralsas, SCG Faculty of North Luzon, Philippine State College. Nowadays, corruption in the Philippines is most often heard and seen in the TV, radio, newspaper, social media, where the actors of corruption are diverse and involved, many both from the government and private entities, including leaders of nations such as senators, governors, mayors, even the highest position, the president. That these corruption cases appear in media have resulted in Philippines being perceived as a corrupt country. Youth in general, specifically college students, are the main foundation for a country. They will be future leaders, but importantly, their attitude and behavior will affect the life of a nation. For example, when youths tolerate corruption, then the future of the nation will be questioned, since corruption destroys nation building. However, there's a little research that focuses on youth experiences towards corruption, especially in the Philippines context. So this particular research study will undertake to determine the corruption experiences of selected fourth-year students of North Luzon Philippine State College. Specifically, it attempted to answer the following questions. What is the definition of corruption as perceived by the participants? What are the forms of corruption did the participants experience? And number 3, how the student responses with their knowledge to the question on why corruption may happen. Methodology. This particular research used qualitative case study type of research. The participants of this study are the fourth-year students from the two courses of the College of Arts and Sciences, AB Political Science and Bachelor of Science in Criminology, with 3 participants each. Courses who were enrolled during the second semester of 2018 to 2019. Purposive sampling was used to get the desired number of students. Those students in which they have experienced corruption in their life and learn the corruption in their subjects. Semi-structured interview schedules were used to data collection. Semi-structured interviews were utilized because they enabled the gaining of meaningful insight into belief and perception of a particular phenomenon. In-depth individual and face-to-face interviews were used to collect the data to gain further understanding about students' experience toward corruption. The researchers spent some time familiarizing the data collected by repeatedly reading the verbal data before trying to code and search for the meaning. So as a result, there are 3 teams developed, which are political misleads, government officials leads, loss of values, and environment influence. To answer the first SOP, which is asking about what is the definition of corruption. So we have 3 sub-themes actually. Is that abuse of power. According to Dury et al. 2006, corruption is also defined as abuse of public office for private gain. The abuse of power is most likely to be committed by public officials to have something in return. It could be in cash or considerations. Doing things that are not encouraged by law or regulation in connection with certain works. According to Muhammad Ismail and Abu Bakr 2014. This is based from the participant that abuse of power meant to espouse the common good, but instead are in fact used as an idea of superiority of those who hold them. Another is an acceptance of bribery. Bribery is one aspect that seems normal in our country. Bribery also has many aspects, especially regarding deal with government offices, police officer, giving and accepting something, expressing gratitude for consideration in return. It can be observed that the government officials are accepting gifts in contrast with the existing law of the land. It might be direct or indirect bribery. Still, accepting gifts is strictly prohibited. This is because in return, you will do something for the consideration of what they have given in exchange. Stealing others' money is also another definition of corruption, according to the participants. The money of the government is coming from the people's taxes. This money are used to fund the different programs and projects of the government for its people welfare and benefit. Supposedly, the money is for the best interest of the common good, not only for self-interest of who are in the position. The stealing of others' money is a common form of corruption that causes great damage to people's life and services. As to the different forms of corruption experienced by the participants, we have the theme, which is government officials list. Corruption involves government officials in which abuse of power or office for personal gain is being done by them. Thus, as a result, these are the different form of corruptions they experience. First, bribery. This is illustrated by one participant that he experienced being bribed with corruption, especially when dealing with people, particularly the police. Specifically, they had to bribe a police officer to avoid a ticket when they broke traffic regulations. We have also extortion. Extortion is the form of correction that two participants experience. One good example when custom officials request undue custom duties from importers, such as conditions to clear their goods. It can be noted that extortion is high-risk corruption when dealing with the police. The National Police Force is widely as one of the most corrupt institutions in the country, according to ABS CBN 2017. And reports of the police military engaging in corruption, extortion, and being involved in local rackets are widespread, according to FIT 2017. We have also fraud. One of the participants experienced fraud, which is the act of intentionally and dishonestly deceiving someone in order to gain an unfair or illegal advantage. And finally, the participants will also ask on why corruption may happen. So, while the major theme here is the loss of values and environment influence. In narrating the responses of participants, findings of this study revealed that the loss of values and environmental influence as the causes of corruption. We have lack of discipline, discontented, and we have low salary and culture. For the lack of discipline, based on three participants, the moral aspect of an individual is considered to be the causes of corruption, which is lack of discipline. Discontented. One participant mentioned that one reason why person commit corruption is discontentment. The government officials are not contented on what they have, receiving particularly salary and benefits, since they are spending money on their desires rather than what they really need. They live in an extravagant life that is not consonant on what they are receiving, forcing them to corrupt just to satisfy their happiness and contentment. Low salary. According to one participant, the causes of corruption is low salary. Corruption is also strongly influenced by low salaries of government employees who are therefore trying to improve their financial position by receiving bribes and consequently the socio-economic situation. And finally, culture. If the top of politics is corrupt, then the corrupt shows at all levels. And we can say it is part of the system. And surprisingly though, it seems deeply engraved in our everyday life. It can be even claimed up to very depths of humanity. So as to the conclusion, it can be concluded that the corruption is social political problem that should be tackled especially to the youths. Corruption is everywhere. If abuse of power and personal gain is the utmost thing that a government official is thinking and acting, the silence about corruption is tolerating the presence of such actions. Corruption happens because of the pool of energy of the inside and outside of the individual that cannot be controlled, creating loss of values. Recommendations. The school should conduct a seminar lecture about the corruption and its forms to students so that they will be informed and aware about it. The students should support the government activities in reducing corruption. The students should be urged to report any type of corruption they experience to proper authorities. The conduct of values restoration program for students should be conducted by the schools to inculcate strong values as a way in avoiding corruption. Thank you and good day.
Ladies, gentlemen, that's presentation of paper number 9, Corruption Experiences of Senior College Students by Sir John Paul R. Alasas. He is not here, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, if you have any questions, suggestion, or comment, please write here in the chat box. Ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you to write your comment, suggestion, or question here on the chat box. Thank you. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we move to paper presentation number 10 by Mem Ruby Agabor, Aileen Agalang, Filipinas M. Casalao. Mem Ruby Agabor is here. Therefore, for Mem Ruby, please take the floor for about 10 minutes of delivery. Right afterward, there will be a QA session. Thank you. Mem Gabor, please take the floor.
Sir, actually, I sent my video presentation. Can we take it from there? Because I am not in the school. I am actually outside. I'm attending the game of the students in our intramural, so I cannot present personally. But I have sent my video presentation already.
Noted, ma'am. Noted, ma'am. Please wait.
Thank you.
Ketemu kemarin di apa? Ayo.
Good day. This is Ruby A. Gabor, presenter from North Luzon, Philippines State College, Candon City, Ilocos Sur, Philippines. The title of my study is Cussing Among Teacher Education Students, an Input for Moral Recovery Program. So let's define first what cussing is. According to Henry in 2018, the use of cussing is actually the use of swear words or expressions by someone to offend another. Another, by Leong in 2011, describes cussing as the source of utterances containing taboo or unclean words that seem to reflect the speaker's feelings and attitude. Though cussing is commonly used, it is socially denounced. And according to Rahman in 2017, cussing includes both emotional and linguistic expressions, so it is actually very offensive for others. Now, there were studies conducted. One is by Rahman in 2017. He said that teenagers and old people in the Western culture use cuss words, while very few involved Asian culture because it is deemed to be very conservative. Another study was conducted by Maynard in 2002. He said that among the Japanese people, very few cuss words are available in their language because their culture demands caution. On the contrary, in the European and Western cultures, people who use cuss words are rarely reprimanded. That's according to Jay and Janshowitz in 2008. Other studies were conducted also and found out that use of cuss words are actually done by young learners. That's according to Soganov and Nicolou in 2016. While in the study of Jay and Janshowitz in 2008, he found out that cuss words are also used by natives and non-natives of English-speaking college students, while Gadi, on the other hand, in 2014 argues that very little is known about the use of cuss words on students in the field of teaching. So, Cussing is actually used by anyone, even college students, without the exemption of the teacher education students who have actually important roles to play in leading effective growth and development of their future students. The teacher education students are trained and equipped with the knowledge, attitudes, behaviors, and skills for 4 years to perform their task effectively in the classroom, school, and wider community someday. However, before the entry of these prospective teachers to college, they already have their pool of vocabularies, including cuss or curse. So the research objectives of this study first is to determine the cuss words used by teacher education students. Second, discover when and where these cuss words are used. Third, explore the reasons these cuss words are used. And fourth, explain the communicative functions of these cuss words. Research questions. What are the common cuss words teacher education students use in their day-to-day conversations? Second, when and where do teacher education students use cuss words? And third, why do teacher education students use cuss words? And fourth, what are the communicative functions of cuss words? The methodology used in the study is a qualitative descriptive research design with the content analysis as a strategy. So the study was conducted at North Luzon Philippine State College under the College of Teacher Education program. So there were 61 participants, and it was actually a voluntary response, and the students were taken from sampling. And the data gathering tool was the web-based questionnaire. So the findings of the study. First, it was found out that from the categories, first we have the abusive words. Abusive words that offended or degraded another person, like the use of boba for female or bobo for male, all of which mean fool or silly. Another is gaga for female or gago for male, meaning stupid, fool, or dumb. And torpe or tanga, which means senseless. So another category is profanity, which includes religious issues such as asalit, alit, alitan, or alitanen, which are actually variations, meaning damn it or to hell. Another category of the cuss words used by our education students were on sexuality. So sexual, which is relating to words about human sexuality. And these words could be puta, a Spanish term that means bitch or whore, and ukim, referring to the female genitalia. So the conclusion of the study. Cuss words are used in daily conversations with one another. So the students actually use this in the community, in the classrooms, and in the social media. Cussing is the use of a subset of a language lexicon to show strong emotion. Cussing is used to identify with their friends or age mates and show solidarity or to isolate people. Cussing or cuss words have cultural manifestations. As such, a person's style of cursing will be the product of both shared and private experiences. Cultural factors include religion, taboos, gender identification, censorship, and social power. So the recommendation of the study is to have an output, which is the Moral Recovery Program. Now here is a sample of the Moral Recovery Program done by the researchers. So the theme of this recovery program is reshaping student-teachers' character towards good values and professionalism. So the title of the study is Seminar Workshop on Value Formation and Enhancement. And the objective of this activity is first, to strengthen student-teachers' moral values. Second, to develop their sense of awareness of core values. So the duration of the study is actually 2 days. Now the activity proper would include 4 activities. First, we have the opening prayer. Another is the welcome remarks. Third is the rationale of the activity. And third is the seminar workshop proper. In the seminar workshop proper, there will be 4 topics that will be handled. First is kindness and respect. And second, humility. Third will be on integrity. And fourth will be on prudence. The fifth part now of the moral recovery program is the presentation of output by the teacher education students. And lastly will be the closing remarks. So this will be this is the proposed moral recovery program. And thank you for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, definitely this is a very interesting topic of discussion. Cussing, a curse word in the field of education. But this is widely used in a wide society. Here with us is Ma'am Ruby Gabor among the paper presenter. Therefore, I believe she will be happy to answer questions that you have. I believe this is interesting. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to get involved by asking questions, suggesting, or commenting. Thank you.
If there are questions, I'm willing to answer and open for your suggestions if there are.
If while we are waiting for participants to ask questions, Ma'am Gabor, I am very much interested in this topic of discussion. To be more specific, the function. Can you elaborate more based on your research, the function of the cussing by the college students in your research? Thank you, ma'am.
Actually, since cuss words are very offensive, these are offensive words used by the students or anybody. But then it's also functional in a way that we can outpour our emotions to other people. But there should be a limit to the use of these cuss words. If you are if the students are together with other friends, probably they can make use of that to just like what I have said, to express their emotions. But then, as the future educators, it should not be used by the students. So they have to be they should undergo what do you call this? Moral training, probably, so that they have to learn to control their emotions. That's all. Actually, cuss words are acceptable, but for old people, for old folks, it is not really acceptable. Yeah, it's not acceptable. But then there are teachers that would accept this. Our young generation now freely use cuss words. So it is our role as educators to suppress them. That is why we have this moral recovery program that will help them in controlling their emotions. Thank you.
Great. Ma'am Kapoor, interested to do some collaboration research with you, ma'am, on the same topic. Very interesting. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the presentation of paper number 10, Cussing Among Teacher Education Students, an Input for a Moral Recovery Program. Very interesting. Thank you, Ma'am Kapoor and friends. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to move to the 11th paper presentation, case study on student SOPIP digital wallet users in Madiun City by Ma'am Heidi Paramita Devi, which will be presented by Ma'am Ita Nuari. Ma'am Ita, if you are here, I would like you to take the floor for 10 minutes. Thank you. Ma'am Ita, would you like to present the paper live? You are still muted, ma'am.
Sorry, Mister.
Okay, good. Now go on.
This is my title, Factor Affecting the Use of Financial Technology Payment System, Case Study on SOPIP Digital Wallet User in Madiun City by Muhammad Agus Sudrajat, Heidi Paramita Devi, Amalia Nurdianta, and me, Tanwari Suciuramadina, Department of Accounting, Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas PGRI Madiun. The introduction. In the last 3 centuries, the development of technology and information in the world has grown rapidly, entering the area of the Industrial Revolution 4.0, which has caused change to human life. Especially for the younger generation or millennials, various types of technology began to develop in the 4.0 Industrial Revolution. The payment trend that is developing in Indonesia is a digital wallet. Digital wallet products that have developed include SOPIP, OVO, Jangan, GoPay, Link Aja, Dompetku, Sakuku, and Uangku. From the research result, it was noted that SOPIP had the highest penetration is 68%, followed by OVO 62%, Jangan 54%, GoPay 53%, and Link Aja 23%. In the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, digital payments are getting higher. Therefore, PT Airpay International Indonesia, or we call SOPIP, is trying to improve security and convenience by releasing facial and fingerprint recognition feature for small transactions. Based on several previous studies regarding the variables of benefit, convenience, safety with consistent results, for example, in the research conducted by Kim Lin, John, and 2020, shows the result that the perceived usability and convenience perception variables have a positive effect on the use of fintechs. By studying the factor that influence the use of fintechs, you can find out about the right strategy and make it a reference for developing the right information system. This is the literature review, Technology Acceptance Model, or TEM. The TEM theory is to explain in general terms the assumptions of technology that leads to an explanation of user behavior in various technology developments. The theory of client behavior, or TPB, according to Azan, TPB is an extension of the theory of rational action, or TRA, which is used to explain the relationship between intention and perceived behavior control. Usability, According to Vincennes and Davis, usability is a measure to determine a person's level of confidence in the use of a system to improve performance. Convenience, according to Vidya, convenience means an individual's belief that using an information technology system will not be inconvenience or require great effort when used. Security, based on ISO, Information Technology Security Techniques Code of Practice for Information Security. Information security is the protection of information from various threats to ensure business continuity, minimize business risks, and maximize return on investments and business opportunities. Financial ability is a person's ability to solve problems or manage their finance, both from salary or pocket money, which means it refers to an economic situation where this situation will affect product selection and purchase satisfaction of a particular product. Financial technology. In Bank Indonesia regulation, financial technology is the use of financial system technology that produce new product, service, technology, and or business models and can have an impact on monetary stability. Financial system stability, efficiency, smoothness, security, and the reliability of the payment system. This is the concept of the independent variables are usability, convenience, security, and financial ability with the dependent variable using financial technology. The method and procedures. This study aims to determine the factors that influence students in the city of Madiun using Subcribe digital wallet. Questionnaires were distributed using Google Form Media aimed at students who are currently studying at a university in the city of Madiun and have used the Subcribe digital wallet service. Table 1 is explanation about sample distribution. Table 2, explanation about classification of respondents based on gender. Table 3, explanation classification of respondents based on university origin. And table 4, explanation about classification of respondents based on income or pocket money per month. Table 5, classification of respondents based on the intensity of use of Subcribe per month. The result and discussion. The effect of usefulness on the use of financial technology. Hypothesis 1 states that usability effect the use of financial technology is accepted. The usability variable has the count of 3.263 and the table of 1.6605, so the count higher more than the table. The signification value is 0.002 is less than 0.05. This shows that usability effect the use of fine text. Thus, hypothesis 1 is accepted. The results of this study are in line with the result of Savitri and Diana 2020 and the result of Kim Line, Joan, and Bu 2020. The effect of ease of use on financial technology. Hypothesis 2 states that ease of effect on the use of financial technology is rejected. The confidence variable has the count of 0.105 and the table of 1.6605, so the count is less than the table. The significance value is 0.917, is higher, more than 0.05. This shows that confidence does not affect the use of fine text. Thus, hypothesis 2 is rejected. The results of this study are in line with the result of Alwi 2019, in contrast to the result of Yanto 2020, Kurnianingsih and Maharani 2020, and Kamil 2020, which states that confidence has a positive effect on the use of financial technology. The third is effect of security on the use of financial technology. Hypothesis 3 states that security affects the use of financial technology and is rejected. The security variable has the count of 0.943 and the table of 1.6605, so the count is more than the table. The significant value is 0.348 and less than 0.05. This shows that security has no effect on the use of fine text. Thus, hypothesis 3 is rejected in contrast to research conduct by Irawan and Afan 2020, Yanto 2020, and Kamil 2020, which state that security affect the use of financial technology. And the fourth is the effect of financial capability on the use of financial technology. Hypothesis 4 states that usability affect the use of financial technology is accepted. The financial ability variable has the count of 3.473 and the table of 1.6605. So the count is more than the table. The significant value is 0.001 and 0.05. This shows that financial ability affect the use of fine text. Thus, hypothesis 4 is accepted. The result is in line with Kamil 2020, Hana, and Kusumawati 2020 that financial ability affect the use of financial technology. The conclusion, the study aims to determine the effect of the independence variables on usability, confidence, security, and financial ability with the dependent variable using financial technology. The data used is primary data in the form of questionnaire and distributed to 100 respondents who were selected using purposive sample method. Based on the result of hypothesis testing, the conclusion in this study are as follows. 1. Usefulness affect the use of financial technology. Shopify digital wallet user feel that use of financial technology through a faster, more efficient, and easy to use financial transaction payment process. 2 is does not affect the use of financial technology. The better understanding of digital wallet user, especially Shopify regarding the use of financial technology. The easier it is for Shopify digital wallet user to use financial technology. 3. Security does not affect the use of financial technology. An understanding of security quarantines is very necessary in the use of financial technology, especially for Shopify digital wallet user. The better the security system in a financial technology product, the greater someone's use of the financial technology products. 4. Financial capability affect the use of financial technology. The greater a person's financial ability, the greater the possibility of someone using a digital wallet in transaction. High financial capabilities make it easier for someone to reveal the balance on the digital wallet that is used, so that access digital wallet is not hampered. Thank you. That's all my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. So, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to get involved. So, if you have any question, any suggestion, or comment, just raise your hand because this is presented live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We invite you to get involved. Just express your questions, comments, or suggestions. Ladies, gentlemen, questions, comment? Suggestion? Right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to proceed to the next. That's the 12th paper. It is measurement of overall equipment effectiveness, OEE. Machine at Sugar Factory PT ABC by Sir Zainal Mutakin. Sir Zainal Mutakin, you are here. If you're ready, please take the floor for 10 minutes of delivery. Sir Zainal Mutakin. Sir Zainal, you are not muted. There seems a technical problem, ladies and gentlemen. I don't hear your voice, Sir Zainal. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Zainal experiencing a problem, especially with voice. So apology about this inconvenience. Anyway, the presentation must go on. So please go on, Sir Zainal. Right, ladies and gentlemen, since should you have any questions, suggestion, or comment, please write here in the chat box. Ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you to write your question, your comment, or suggestion here on the chat box, because Sir Zainal is here with us, but experiencing a technical problem, the voice especially. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to proceed to the last listed here, number 13, the impact of green intellectual capital on sustainable performance. Case study by Vanda Desi Puri. The video is here with us, therefore I would like to share the video.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity given to me. It's an honor to meet all of you here. My name is Vanda Daisy Prulirundengan, and I proudly present our paper, The Impact of Green Intellectual Capital on Sustainable Performance, Case Study in Educational Organization. I like to give you a brief outline about our paper. Intellectual capital has become of the most valuable resource of an organization. as awareness of sustainable practice increases, a new concept emerges, green intellectual capital or GIC. However, research on GIC is still scarce, especially when discussing its relationship with sustainable organization performance in educational organization. Through a case study conducted on all universities in the North Sulawesi region, this study aims to assess how the organizational internal stakeholders understand the concept of GIC, sustainability, and sustainable performance, and to better understand the effect of GIC on economic, social, environment, and sustainable organization performance. Evidence shows that stakeholders do not understand the concept of GIC and only emphasize the environment dimension of the concept of sustainability and sustainable performance. Furthermore, it was found that the organization's sustainable performance is influenced by all components of GIC, namely green human capital, green structure capital, and green relation capital. Several studies have discussed the relationship between green intellectual capital and sustainable performance. Therefore, this study aims at first assessing the perception of internal stakeholders of educational organizations about the concept of green intellectual capital and economic, social, environment, sustainable, and the performance of educational organization. Second, increase understanding of the effect of green intellectual capital on the sustainable and the performant educational organization. Based on the object of this study, the research equation can be formatted as follows. The first research question: how sustainable human research affects sustainable performance? The second research question: how sustainable structural capital affects sustainable performance? The third research question: how sustainable relationship capital affects sustainable performance? The research is the case study of all universities in the province of North Sulawesi, Indonesia. This research is a case study of all universities in the province of North Sulawesi, Indonesia. In accordance with Law Number 32 of 2009, that everyone is obligated to maintain the presentation of environment function and control population environment damage. Based on the law, all levels of society are required to maintain the surrounding environment, include educational organization in the study University throughout North Sulawesi. The research is expected to contribute the relationship between green intellectual capital and sustainable performance. Methodology in this paper aims to assess the preparation of internal stakeholders from each university regarding the concept of green intellectual capital, sustainability, and sustainable performance, as well as to increase understanding of the influence of green intellectual capital on sustainable performance. Thus, in-depth case study method was adopted to assign the above mentioned objective. In perception of the organization internal stakeholder, we found first, all respondents interviewed did not understand the concept of intellectual capital, which plays an important role in increasing organization value. Second, all respondents interviewed were not very familiar with the concept of sustainability of intellectual capital. They do not understand the concept of green intellectual capital, which function to improve the organizational sustainable performance. In sustainable, we found first, the result of the interview found that the respondent did not understand the meaning of sustainable. Second, respondent interview result that the concept of sustainable only related to the maintenance of the environment around the organization. Second, the result of interview with respondents that the concept of sustainability that is understood only in the environment is not related to green intellectual capital and sustainable performance. Sustainable performance, we found first, interview results from most stakeholders understand that economic and social factors are the main supporters of sustainable performance. Second, the result of the interview response agreed that the organization should care about the environment, but the environment does not support the sustainable of performance. Third, respondent interview results agree that was introduction GHC to product low-cost innovation. On theme, understanding of the effect of green intellectual capital on organization sustainable performance, concept impact of GIC on sustainable performance, we found first, the effect that the interview found a positive relationship between knowledge, behavior, and sustainable organization performance on the economic dimension. Second, the effect that the interview found a positive relationship between knowledge, behavior, and sustainable organization performance on the environment dimension. Third, the effect that the interview found a positive relationship between knowledge, behavior, and sustainable organization performance on the social dimension. In impact of GCC on sustainable performance, we found first, interview result prove that green intellectual capital is very important to sustainable performance access from the economic dimension. 2. Interview result prove that green intellectual
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to shortcut the presentation because the time allotted is 10 minutes. That's the presentation paper number 13, the impact of green intellectual capital on sustainable performance, case study, by name Vanda Daisy Puri. Because she is not here with us, if you have questions, suggestion, or comment, could you please write here on the chat box? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me call again the presence of paper number 1, acceptability of proud cooperative system by Sir Severino G. Albion. Sir, if you are here, this is calls after calls for your presentation. Thank you. The same call is for paper number 6, the effect of brand image of food and beverage products by people with disabilities on sales volume of Kube Bisa Perpanca by Sir Asrorul Mais, David Christian Susilo, Hanif Adinata Utama. Ladies, gentlemen, paper presenter for number 1 and 6, if you are here, please take the floor. Last call for paper number 1, acceptability of proud cooperative system, Sir Severino G. Albiento. And paper number 6, the effect of brand image of food and beverage products by people with disabilities on sales volume of Kube Bisa Perpanca, Sir Asrorul Mais, Sir David Christian Susilo, Hanif Hadinata Utama. Sure, that's the last call for you. In a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen, we have to put an end to today's presentation. It seems, ladies and gentlemen, the last call for Sir Severino, paper presenter number 1 and paper number 6 is not available for us for today's presentation. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the presentation in room C, ICETECH, the 3rd Universitas PGRI Madiun. Thank you very much for imparting knowledge with us. We hope that the knowledge you have been imparting to us will give benefits, will add insight or broaden our insight. Thank you. for imparting your knowledge. Again, stay safe and bye-bye.